Kind of tubers. So in lots of the games we play, Pathfinder, D&D, I don't know, Call of Cthulhu, I actually haven't played, but I'm going to assume, you need to track various conditions. It can be a hassle. We do it on paper, you might be using Hero Lab and things like that. Sometimes you need a good visual representation on the table. And sometimes people use colored rubber bands, things like that. Here's a little solution that we use from time to time. And I'm going to show you how to crank these out pretty quick. Got this little wire apparatus, so you can drop various beads on for conditions and buffs. Makes for a decent handle, move around terrain. So yeah, here in a sec I'll show you how to make those. Okay, you're going to need a tiny pallet, tasty beverage, some minis, some paper clips, pliers of choice, some beads, and a California raisin. Okay, these are actually really easy and fast. You just are going to take a paper clip and turn it into this shape. So here we go. First things first, straighten that out. And this one is going to have a little crooked spots in it because I'm going to make it kind of quick for the demonstration. You can get all kinds of OCD about it after the fact and straighten those out. You want to leave this small end alone. Go ahead and straighten out the big end. So you're just left with that one curve. Now, you can use any pliers. I am using these because they have a nice crisp 90-degree angle between the faces, and so it just makes it a little neater. Back to this. You want to get just the tiniest bite of that, so there's just barely any of that curve inside the pliers. And then you're going to want to make sure that this is parallel. Not that it's parallel to the overall tool, but that it is parallel to this plane. And then you're just going to bend that 90 degrees. And if you have pliers with a crisp 90, it's super easy. You just bend it up against that and you're done. Now, grab just below that, and again, make sure that you're straight there. Bend 90 degrees, and maybe just tighten it just a little bit. And it should. Now, see, I got to tighten it just a little bit. It will slide over the base, but you want to bend it to the point that you kind of have to pop it in there. It will not damage the base. Just got to find that happy little sweet spot. There, that's got it. I have to tweak it just a little bit, but you get the idea. So once you've got that, lock your mini in there. You see right where it comes out the other side. You'll grab right up against the base, and then take him out of there and bend 90 degrees on the inside, so that you know that that is 1 inch, and it's the size of the base. So when you snap him in there, it's off to the side. You'd want to do it behind, not like in front of his arm like that, but you know what I'm saying. So that's the hard part, and that's not hard. So after that, pick a spot somewhere, and I guess you could skip this step and just glue a bead here or glue something else as a stop, or not use a stop at all, let it go all the way to the base. I like to bend another 90. And then another. And this part is a little tricky. Try and there. And you get this little stop on the outside to stop the bead. And then if you want, you can bend this over just so it's not sharp. Make sure that it's bent over in such a way that you can still slip a bead over it, or file it down. And before you do that, maybe cut it shorter if you feel like it's too tall, like using a dwarf, for example. So yeah, pretty simple. So there you have it, quick, easy condition tracker, visible to all the players at the table. Just throw a red on for bleed, frightened, invisible. Use other funky beads you find for things like Death Ward or Confusion. These will totally work on other things like Pathfinder pawns or Pathfinder minis. Larger base, you just make the same thing with the larger base in mind. Now, it does make some minis tippy. I mean, you could tweak that so that that's not the case, but it does also make them raise off the ground a little bit. That bothers those OCD players that might burn your house down. You can get this wrap effect. You just make the circle slightly smaller than the base, and you kind of force the base down in there. It's kind of a pain in the butt to get on, but then it does sit flat. They're not as fast to make, and they're not as fast to take on and off of minis. So the little bit of wobble doesn't bother me. And these make a decent handle to move around in terrain. So there you have it. I encourage you to crank about a dozen of these out. 8 or a dozen is all you'll ever need. I mean, if you think about how many players and combatants you typically have in a combat, should be plenty. That's it. See you guys later.